Well, welcome to the Followup podcast. My name is Hayden. I'm the worship director here at Arbor Church, and today I am joined by Alison, our community care pastor, Bryan Cobley, our students director, Cliff Tadema, our interim pastor. Oh, there we go. And Michael Solis with no sign to the camera. Okay. Well, audio listeners had no idea, but I ruined it. Our children's director. So, this is being released the Wednesday after our Sunday that we were online. So we're going to peel back the curtain real fast and just say we recorded this before Christmas because right now we are all hanging out with our families and enjoying some time off. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Christmas. Some of these stories, we might be projecting what we think might happen on Christmas, but we're going to rely more on our past Christmas traditions. So does anybody, just to start the conversation, does anybody have some fun memories or things that they're planning on doing this year or things that they do around the Christmas season?
Well, last year we shared, it was kind of fun, the four of us. And I remember sharing about how every year I got underwear for Christmas.
You did share that last year.
And I would just like to thank the Arborites that got me that present this last year. They were a little big, but yeah, thank you.
I completely forgot that happened.
Yes.
What a year.
I thank you in advance for nobody doing that to me.
Yeah. Thank you in advance.
Not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do it, I'll only one brand only, Duluth.
Duluth. Okay,
No
I feel
Fruit of
like we've
the Loom for
already
you.
spent too
I've
much
never
time.
had Duluth, but if you're going to go out of your way to give me underpants,
Yeah.
I'll take the best kind of Duluth.
We have already spent more than enough time on underwear, so I'm going to transition to anyone else have
Michael, didn't
something about
I'm sorry,
Christmas?
I totally ruined this
No,
Christmas
it's
special.
okay. I just
Take
didn't
us-
expect anyone else to elaborate on what you said. So.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
This is why I don't get invited to podcasts.
Oh,
anything you left on the chopping block on that, Michael?
yeah.
Yes.
Bryan, you had a surprise for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Share.
Yeah.
Share.
We were so excited. My in-laws are in town. Will be in town.
Are they currently in town?
No, they're not. They're coming on Christmas Day.
No.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
getting released on the Wednesday.
They're in town. I already want them gone.
Man, this
So
podcast.
Audra was surprised.
Wow.
Yeah.
Audrey's
That's
super
awesome.
surprised when we told her that they're coming. But it's awesome because normally we go home for Christmas. And like I've told you guys many times before, it's awesome to go home for Christmas, but also very challenging because our parents live super close to each other. So just the whole trip, we're always just trying to balance whose house we're staying at, who we're visiting, and just trying to give everybody as much like Cade time as possible. So we couldn't do that this year because we went to Disneyland instead as a family. So that was like our travel money for this year. So we're like, cool. This is going to be the first year that we're kind of like at home for Christmas, hanging out with each other. And the in-laws decided they wanted to come. I'm like, awesome. Christmas Day, Cade gets his grandparents, which, as you guys know, it's kind of hard. When I know my family and Audrey's family, all the kids get to hang out with the grandparents, and Cade doesn't really get that tradition unless we drive over there to him still get his grandparents this year. It's really nice.
That's so cool.
I'm glad for you guys.
Yeah.
It's
It's
good.
really cool. I'm really happy that they're here.
For the first time this year, we're going to have to take a COVID test before we go to Christmas. So I'm hoping
You already
for the
took it.
best.
You already
I
took
already
it.
took it.
And how did you pass?
I was able to spend Christmas with my grandchildren because I was COVID negative due to
Wow.
yes,
This is moved from a Christmas podcast to a prophetic one.
right. That's right.
Cliff, what will you reap on Christmas Day?
Me?
Yeah.
What did you reap?
You know what? So about 6 years ago, I started a tradition with my grandkids. And at that time, I've got 15 grandkids. And at that time, the youngest was, the oldest was 11. The youngest was just 4, 3 or 4. And so we've been doing that every year. So I'll do that again this year. What I did then is I had them all come down to the church I was pastoring at, and we played games all day long.
Cute.
And then they all came over to our house afterwards and spent the night.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and we took them shopping and all that, so that their parents could go and do their own stuff. Now I've got 12 of them around here, but they're all bigger.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again. We've moved it from doing it right before Christmas to we'll do it on New Year's Eve. And what's fascinating is how 2 years ago we took them to the trampoline zone, and now we rent hotel rooms
I love that.
because we don't have enough room in our house.
I think this is
So
awesome.
this year we rent two bedroom hotel rooms and one bedroom hotel room for all of them, and then we'll do some really neat stuff. Talk about what they appreciate about each other, and about what they're hoping for next year, and how they felt about this last year, and those kinds of things. And
What's the age range
so
now?
now the age range is the oldest is 17, and the youngest, I believe, she just turned 9.
Wow.
So and there'll be
That's
12 of
awesome.
them. So and just about with 12 there are 7 boys and 5 girls.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's
A lot
so
of fun.
fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Michael, what does your Christmas look like?
What did it?
What did it look
In-
like?
Already
In
look-
retrospect, what did my Christmas look like? Yeah, it's this is a fun year. My kids are all at an age 5, 8, and 10 where they're super excited about Christmas. My youngest, Jace, taking pictures of him as he's discovering different parts of Christmas. In the past, pictures with pictures with Santa. We love pictures with salmon.
That's what Christmas in Seattle is like.
Pictures with
Christmas
Santa
with salmon.
were just awful. He would just be crying all the time, and they make for fun Santa pictures. But this year he's just so excited. It's just pure joy. So that's fantastic. He's so excited about presents all the time right now, and that's been a ton of fun with the kids. On a more bigger scale, there's something happening, or that happened this year, that hasn't happened in over a decade. And my island family, the Guamanian side, we have done a Zoom call where we have aunts and uncles and cousins, and a ton of us are reconnected. And again, it's been over a decade, and it's pretty cool to get reconnected to my island family. Yeah.
So I have a question about that. So you're probably I'm hoping you're using the Arbor account for that, and then we can slide into the Zoom room
Yeah, that'd
and
be
not
fun.
nobody would notice
Nobody would
if
know.
all of us showed up.
You mean the next time we do it there?
Coming oh yeah, that's true. I can't get
Next
this
time.
time travel thing
so-
right.
So I got a question. Last I read a survey a little while back that said, ask the people, what is the best thing about Christmas for you? And guess what the number one response was?
Family.
Food.
Family.
Oh.
Number one response was family.
Food is number 2.
Number one response was family, and spending time with family. Then they asked the question, what is the worst part of Christmas? to you?
Family.
Family.
Oh, man.
No
That's
way.
why I already want my in-laws
Yeah. Yeah. It would be, it would be just absolutely humorous if it wasn't so true. But
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
it is,
For
isn't
sure.
it? You know
Yes.
how family can be it's so awesome and so incredible, and it's so difficult,
challenging.
I will say, I think she's joking, but every time I go home, as you guys know, I sing a lot.
Yeah.
And, when I go home, I sing. I just do it. And usually the first day my mom says, it's a joke, goes, you can go home now.
Out.
It's a joke.
I think she's kidding.
Yeah,
I
she doesn't
hope.
mean it.
Sorry, I thought there was more to that story.
Now we're just all depressed.
I was pausing.
We need blue Christmas now.
Yeah. Oh
Hayden,
wow.
I'll say this: since reconnecting with a lot of my cousins and family, I've been getting group chat text messages from different cousins that are just so grateful that we've been reconnecting. So that's been really cool for me this
Yeah,
year.
that's cool. Hayden, you've asked all of us, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
haven't said
Yeah. What
anything.
about
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, Hayden.
Well, being the only one here on staff that doesn't have children, my wife and I travel either to my family's place in Vancouver, Washington, or we go to Boise. And this year falls on a Vancouver. So right after the Christmas Eve service, Sarah and I hopped in the car and drove down to Vancouver and hung out with my family.
Are you
And
currently there?
We're currently there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, in between these segments where we have our group discussion, I thought it'd be fun to read off this list. I found icebreaker questions for your holiday work party, and we work together. This is kind of like a holiday work party.
Yeah,
so
no, I'm
this
having
is the
fun.
closest we're going to get to one.
yeah, so this one's kind of easy, and it's also keeping you guys accountable. Have you ever lied and told someone their present was still in the mail when really you had not bought it yet?
No.
No. Okay, good job, Bryan.
No.
No, Cliff.
No.
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 Hayden?
All right, I'll be the honest one. Yes, I have done that before.
That's where that question came
that makes
from.
you the honest one
I-
because
yeah,
you did
I-
that
I-
despicable thing.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second.
I think maybe if we clarified, I wouldn't have put it in the mail. I don't know.
No, but it's like Amazon hasn't delivered it
Yeah,
yet.
and today's
right?
full of tracking numbers. So like, oh, just send me the tracking number, and I can be ready
Yeah.
to get it.
Or
No,
it would
I
have been
get
a
it.
porch
I'll send
pirate
it to you in 30 minutes.
situation. Yeah.
There's no reason. I mean, there's a reason why you four saints are on stage and I'm in the booth. So,
Right.
So we talked about Christmas traditions. Have we gotten into the food conversation yet? Because I'm curious for the four of you, and I'll share my piece as well. Are you guys basically a family, collective families, that do basically Thanksgiving part 2, turkey, mashed potato stuffing, or do you guys have other traditions on Christmas?
I have such strong opinions about that
Okay.
because Thanksgiving is a humongous undertaking, and my in-laws used to want a Thanksgiving take 2. Like, let's do another turkey, let's do another day, all in the kitchen, pulling this thing off. And then actually they died. And so we are not doing that again. So we do like a little ham or something that like doesn't take that much effort. And I get to hang out, play games, watch movies, take a nap during football or whatever. And I don't have to be in the kitchen all day anymore. So sorry for that wah wah. But
It was very unexpected.
So
Yeah.
Growing up, it was as big of a meal as Thanksgiving, but not the same items as Thanksgiving. It was prime rib instead that we'd all have.
That sounds much better than
Yeah.
turkey.
So, but us this year with my family, in-laws come into town. We're doing the ham. I reached out to, when it was supposed to be a surprise for Audra, I reached out to Tracy like, hey, what meals what do you want me to buy so we can make a meal? And so she gave me the list and I bought the items. But yeah, it's like Thanksgiving part
and
2,
you
but not
also
the same
did the
item.
dishes that day, right? And you were so great. You cleaned up the kitchen, had everybody else go put their feet up, and you did kitchen. That was amazing, Brian.
Be careful
Good
how you
job.
answer.
We
Wow.
got to do more of these
Wow,
prophetic
that-
podcasts.
that's
I don't know if
Told,
I want to
baby.
be that prophetic.
Brian, have you ever lied on a podcast and told someone you do the dishes when really you didn't?
Have I lied on the podcast?
Please don't
gift is
answer
in the
that.
mail.
Please don't answer that question.
It's a prophetic one.
Cliff, what do you guys eat on Christmas?
You know, our Christmas is, I think we kind of, I was just trying to think about that. And I think sometimes it's been part 2 and sometimes it hasn't been. And that hasn't been a big deal. With as many as are in our tribe, Christmases tend to be more the smaller nuclear families, and we'll get together for games or for something like that. And certainly with us and with all my grandkids, when Karen and I do that, we'll bring stuff to make it simple because they're gonna want to be in the swimming pool and all that. So we'll have a lot of stuff there that makes it as simple as possible that you can eat in a hotel room. Yeah.
Oh, here it comes.
I'll start with Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
Oh,
I knew
good.
it.
we haven't figured Christmas Eve out, actually. And what I mean by that is a few years ago we did pizza.
I remember that. I ate
I
way
had-
too much.
Bryan and Hayden over, and the idea was, you know what? Let's have a base of like frozen pizza crust. And I used to do a ton of pizza, so I had sauce and cheese and all the toppings. And my thinking was, well, just stick pizzas in the oven, pop them out, slice them up. People eat. It was a lot more work than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, you were just slinging pizza dough all night, man.
Dude, it was something. And so since then, we're like, well, let's make it easier and pick up some food. But every single year I attempt to do that, I'm stuck in like a Chinese restaurant for 3 hours going, why did I do this? So we haven't figured out Christmas Eve yet, and we got to get on that. Christmas Day, though, is also me. And it's a pasta. My very first job ever was a Greek restaurant, and I learned to make this Greek pasta with garlic, tomato, and parsley that's thinly chopped. It's soaking in olive oil. You fry it so it's got a nice crispity crunch on top. And then I saute prawns.
Oh, You lost me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You could eat it without the prawns.
Okay.
So what you do is you take the pasta, you put feta cheese over, you take the mixture I just described, and then the prawns over the top of that. And it's a red, white, and green pasta that's, a lot. It usually goes over fairly well if there's no prawns.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
right. Prawnish. Hayden, talk to us about food.
With my family, it's Thanksgiving part 2, but they throw a ham in there as well. So, which is nice because you have turkey and ham. And then for Sarah's family, I think it's the same as Thanksgiving part 2. Yeah, I think that's what it is. We're now gonna do another icebreaker, and Bryan, can I get the jingle?
A jingle?
Yeah, the jingle for the segment. The icebreaker.
You said you've been singing all day.
Oh.
Thank you, Bryan. We worked on that beforehand. What is the most controversial Christmas opinion you have?
Most controversial Christmas.
Christmas.
Not
It can fall anywhere in
Although that would
the
be
holiday
interesting.
season, but yeah,
So a hot take.
yeah.
Hot take.
We heard one yesterday that is very common.
Yeah,
and
give
that's
us an example.
Die Hard.
The Die Hard being a
Die Hard
Christmas
being a
movie.
Christmas movie.
Some people buy it, some people don't. So you don't have to go super serious.
Probably stream it, not really buy it.
I am super judgy about what is a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, Hallmark is terrible.
I'm
Alison.
I was judging other movies. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking you got to stick with the classics, like those little animatration or whatever it was.
claymation?
Claymation, yeah.
Claymation, yeah. Back in the day, like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Those count. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But also like Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, like that.
Christmas with the Cranks.
No, see, that's not a Christmas movie.
I got a hot take.
And that's your favorite, right?
Charlie Brown's theme song is not a Christmas song.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh! Any
Get outta
music
here.
from Charlie Brown?
It is not
Christmas.
that
Charlie
song that
Brown-
they play during Christmas. I'm like, that's just a normal song. Like,
I will
why
go
is
on-
that Christmas?
Charlie Brown taught
That's a hot
jazz
take.
to kids, and we should be thankful for it, okay?
That is a hot take. You are right. All right, Cliff. Hot
Cliff?
takes.
I don't know. I was just sitting here trying to think of that. I think
You're our resident
What-
contrarian,
What-
man.
what
You
was
got to
it?
have
I don't, you know,
these.
thank you,
What was
Hayden.
the original
Normally I
question?
am.
I don't even
I would
remember.
say the hottest take is, guess what? I really think he did come and was born in a manger. There you go. I don't know.
All right. Michael.
On the 25th of December.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Whoa,
Maybe
whoa,
that would be my
whoa.
hot take.
Okay.
Thank you, Allison.
What's the
my
thing
hot
you don't
take
say
is, my
at the
hot take
Christmas
is
table,
Jesus
Michael?
wasn't born on the 25th.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Whoa.
That's my hot take.
Whoa.
You just blew my mind.
Michael,
I
what's
know.
the thing that you don't
Think
say
about
at the
it.
Christmas table because the family's already been fighting all day and you don't want another battle?
Oh my goodness! How many things can I? You know what? Actually, so now that I've grown up and it's more my family, there's not so much when I was younger. Oh my goodness. My aunts and uncles used to go rounds about politics, about all kinds of things, and I just sit back going, this is fun. Let's get together on Christmas and just fight. So no, I'd say there isn't much now that happens like that.
You are
I-
a pretty chill guy.
I'm a pretty chill guy, except for when I say. But anyway, that said, no, I'd say that there's a real air of keeping the peace around Christmas time and enjoying yourselves. So yeah,
I got a legit question. Santa, one present or all presents?
Stocking.
Stocking.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. No bueno.
None at all?
No Santa.
Okay.
okay. Stockings and one present.
Okay.
What were you raised with? Or what do you like?
He's trying to figure out this year for kids.
I actually think there was a mixture. Like there were some and then some. Like the ones you definitely see mom and dad and then Santa.
I liked
But
what
I
my
don't know we're
parents
doing with-
did.
What we're gonna do with our son.
They did stocking, and then they said Santa doesn't have time to wrap his presents, so we always knew Santa's present was the unwrapped one, and I bought it. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. He's
Why
a
would you
busy
buy
guy.
something that was already given to you?
What?
I had a feeling you were going there.
He said I bought it.
Oh.
Wow.
That's a drum
Okay.
set right
wow.
back there.
Allison,
What-
Did you already answer the
Yes,
question?
I
Oh,
answered.
stockings.
Stockings. Okay.
Yeah. Because then he gets a little cred, but he doesn't get like
All
all
the
the
cred?
cred.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Mom and Dad worked hard
So-
for those gifts.
So when then with your children did you?
hold careful
Oh,
how you
whoa, whoa,
phrase
whoa.
this?
Wow.
Oh,
We gotta
Careful.
warn the
PG.
listeners to get their
What we're
kids out of the
People
room.
are watching.
I'm not going to go where you did.
I don't know what you're
No, just remind parents if their kids are listening, they should leave right now.
It's a family friendly podcast.
So if you're gonna spoil the surprise of Christmas,
There might
we
even
need
be
to tell the
youngsters
This
audience.
is
out in the
not
lobby
that
right now.
place. This is not that place. What's your next question,
Yeah.
Hayden?
Well, okay. All right. My next question is this. We have talked a lot about, I did this last year and it feels so funny, but we've talked a lot about secular Christmas traditions. So now I kind of want to get into maybe what you were raised with and what you do now in terms of celebrating the Advent season, right? The whole, the cliche reason for the season, right? So we've talked about gifts, we've talked about the food, we've talked about different things that we do on Christmas, but what is something that you were raised with or doing now that reflects back to Jesus' birth?
Honestly, I didn't really grow up in a Christian home, so nothing.
Okay, what do you do now?
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm trying
You-
to think.
That's
you go
okay.
to Christmas Eve service.
Yeah, I go to Christmas Eve service. That's pretty much it. But yeah, no. I mean, Cade's too. You know, we got some time to come up with
Yeah. We would always read the Christmas story, and even though they just heard it at Christmas Eve, and even though at one point we didn't just do Christmas Eve, but we had a Christmas Day service as well that you'd go to, but we would still, before they opened the presents, we'd stop and take the time to remind them what the real reason for the season was and the idea of gift, the best gift of all, and then read that story, and then they would open the presents after that. And we would usually let them, like we did on Christmas Eve, let the kids act it out in some way, shape, or form. So
I like that too.
like we did on Christmas Eve. I got it.
I think we were big Advent calendar people, but not just the chocolate part. It was like you actually did readings, like, you know, every day, anticipating. Now, those have gotten cuter and prettier. I've got some stuff in my kitchen where I'm sipping my coffee and it's standing up right in front of me, and I read the Advent thing for the day. We do a lot of music in our home. So, like when the kids were little and we had them playing the piano, we would have so much music, and it just filled the atmosphere really with like it. I don't know, just set the tone for your heart. So I think that's kind of I don't know, something sacred that was happening in our house. We used to do a music night and because my children were musicians, they had lots of musician friends. We'd all invite them over on an evening in December, and people could just bring a song, like they could solo or bring their instrument. And it was like the funnest night for a concert in our home. I loved using our home that way. So now we're empty nesters, man. It's just like, it's just John and the piano and me, and I don't know.
Asterisk.
I was gonna say, does John play the
Empty
keys?
nester asterisk.
Yeah, empty nester asterisk, because we have the revolving door of young adults. But anyhow,
That's awesome.
how about you?
Christmas Day, there wasn't a whole lot of emphasis on the reason for the season, if you will. But Christmas Eve, there was always, because my family extends to some Catholicism as well. So there might have been a mass or Christmas Eve service. I absolutely loved being part of the candle lighting at each stage, age, and even as a little, being able to, like, I felt like I was really part of something when as a community we'd all light the candles, and they trusted me with fire at such a little age. But I just thought it was so cool. It was one of those moments where it's like, no, we are a community. It doesn't matter what age I am. So that was really awesome. And taking in the Christmas story on Christmas Eve. Nowadays, I'd say what's been kind of really cool to watch is each morning, Hallie will do a reading with regard to Advent with the kids. And really, what's fun for me is watching how my kids, in my opinion, have a much bigger wealth of understanding of the Christmas story than I did growing up. So, no,
that's cool.
How about you, Mr. Hayden?
Man, made me feel like I was gonna be a like a children's volunteer right there when you call Mr. Hayden. My family, we did church and all of that, but we didn't really do too much at the house like before Christmas. But we always had we did Christmas Eve service, and then we'd go to our friend's Christmas party, and they weren't involved with church at all. And as a kid, I was like, why can't we just skip Christmas Eve service and go to that party because it's so much fun? And then as I've grown up, obviously, I've realized the importance of Christmas Eve. And I don't know if I can do a Christmas Day service. I think those people that do that, they deserve to be on the stage with you guys because they're real saints. But now that Cliff liked that one. Now my wife and I, we do an Advent reading, and we light a candle each Sunday before Christmas. So, so that's what we do. One more icebreaker, and we'll do one more topic before we wrap up the podcast. I had a really good one. I'm sorry. This is what it was. Which one of your coworkers do you think would make the best Christmas cookies?
Allison.
Oh, you have had my cookies, but what about Michael?
I was going to say it's tough because Michael's a great cook, but we've had Allison's cookies, never had cookies from Michael.
I'm not a baker. I'm going to defer to Allison
darn it.
saying
I thought this was going to be a little more
her cookies
heated.
are probably the best of our staff, I'm assuming.
And she waited like so long because the first time.
I'm also still waiting for this poppy seed bread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's coming.
You've said that for a month now.
I will say this, maybe not staff, but Darcy does a fantastic job with a lot of her baking.
Yep.
Like, so cool. And thank you if you're watching.
Yep. Fan of the podcast.
Also the Kleins.
The
Aren't you
Kleins.
a
Ooh, the
Dutch bro?
Kleins, yes.
Are you a Dutch brother, and shouldn't you have good cookies?
Isn't that
yeah.
coffee?
I mean,
stand?
not that I make though. Not that I make.
Okay.
But yes, there's some great sugar cookies and almond cookies that the Dutch make that I really love. But I was going to say the same thing that exactly that Bryan did. That I'm not sure between the two, but I've never had a cookie from Michael, so I would say
I don't think you want a cookie from Michael.
Yeah.
I think I would like
So it's
to,
Allison, hands down.
I want to see
You
a
thought
cookie
that was a
from
good
Michael.
question?
You thought there would be some tension here
I
between
thought
the staff.
because
Yeah.
we know of how much of a gourmand
Okay,
Michael
well, I
is.
mean, I'm good with making breakfast for everyone. There's that.
Okay. Well,
That was your next question. I'd say Michael because he's the only person who's done it.
So there's that.
that wasn't my next question. Do you want to run this thing, Bryan? Go ahead. What's the next question, Bryan?
See, now you're just trying to be heated because you're hoping that there was going to be heat.
I did. I wanted a
We all
little bit of tension. I wanted some dissonance.
All right,
for
Allison,
once.
let's arm wrestle
Ask
about
another
this.
one. Come on, you got 2 more minutes.
Got too much lotion.
No, you're talking about
She's
an
gonna-
icebreaker or the actual question?
I don't care.
Okay. Well,
You're ruining Christmas.
For next year.
jeez. Okay. I do want to pitch back to our service on the 26th, where we talked about what we were thankful for and what we're looking forward to, and we kind of talked more as a church and a church body. I'm curious for you guys, moving forward into the new year that's very much approaching. What are you guys most looking forward to? Maybe in your relationship with Jesus, or just in your family, in your own personal life. What are some things you're looking forward to?
I personally think 2022 is going to be a big year of hopefully with the church, we kind of have our leader sometime during 2022. And so I think just with that, there's just going to be a lot of change happening. And so, and then within my family, I'll have our house. We lived in our house for 2 years, so not paying capital gains tax. So there's even the decision of, hey, do we want to get a bigger house for us with the equity? So this 2022 for me personally just seems like a big year coming up. Yeah. Don't stare at me, bro.
Aren't we going to...
Don't call me bro.
Okay, guy.
This is kind of a recap, if you will, from what we've a little bit talked about for our last Sermon Sunday, right?
This is more you personally, Michael, or your family, whereas
Okay.
Sunday we talked about the church in general.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my time travel
Yeah.
ticker is a little off.
You got fresh out of the DeLorean and you're
Don't even get me started with time travel again, Hayden.
Yeah.
anything come to mind, Michael?
For 2022, Yes, and since this is the prophetic podcast, I see peace and goodwill toward men. I really have a lot of encouragement and hope for Arbor as a whole. I really believe 2022 is going to be a good year.
A little standoff between Alison
Yeah.
and Cliff. Who goes next?
I think I'm just almost ready for anything.
Mhm.
I feel like we did 2020 and that was just a dumpster fire in so many ways. And then the aftermath, we all thought 2021 was going to be this great like reclaiming year where you
remember that.
like
I remember New Year's Eve 2021. I was so hopeful.
yeah. So like we thought, oh well, all the bad was contained in one year.
Yeah.
So then we're going to make up for it in this next year, which
It's gonna
was
be great.
2021, and it had its own dumpster fire moments.
Yep.
So now I'm kind of thinking,
It can't happen again, right? It can't happen
how
again.
bad could it really be?
Yeah, right? It
No,
can
I'm kidding.
possibly
I
can't get
feel like
worse.
I'm ready for anything now. I feel
Yeah.
like we know how to be resilient and lean
Mm-hmm.
on the Lord in so many ways and look to Him for hope and stability and
Yeah.
all, peace and all. So I would like to think that it's full of amazing, wonderful moments and
Mhm.
stuff. But even still, if it's not, God's good and He's going to show up for us
All
no
the
matter
time.
what. So I think
Again and
I'm just
again.
more like I have forgotten how to plan. I've forgotten how to goal set.
Yeah.
I'm just now like, okay, I'm just ready to bob and weave. So I picture more of that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's not too much of a downer.
I
No,
took
not
a
at all.
picture. I picked up a meme the other day that says the moment you realize that 2022 is pronounced 2022.
Oh, wow. Michael,
I'm fired.
what's wrong with you today?
Cliff, what about yourself?
Wow. I actually, I really, I think what Alison was saying is what I'm looking forward to. And I think when we get to the place where we can say, well, we're going to try and do some planning, but we're so used to God intervening and and things changing that we're also okay with that. That then He kind of has freedom to do some pretty amazing things. And I think for Arbor, that's what I'm hoping and praying for is to begin to see that. And in what context and how quickly and where, man, I've got my hands like this going, okay, Lord, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden?
I kind of resonate with Alison and Cliff. I feel like it's the past 2 years have been the train is right behind me, and I'm frantically throwing down the pieces for the train track. So chill, calm. I will even take boring. I'll take a boring year. But just an opportunity to catch my breath, and I would love to make plans as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm looking forward to for the next year. So
Let's all raise a glass to a boring year.
exactly.
There you
All right.
2022.
All right. Well, if you guys have anything else you want to share to the audience before 2022, go ahead and do it. All right. Thank you,
good
guys.
luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks for going along on the ride with us.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think
journey.
that's, I think
and
that's
I love-
huge. Yeah.
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 It means a lot
Yep.
to have everybody sticking with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we love and appreciate all that volunteer and
Oh,
serve with us at Arbor, and thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the guy who's the shortest tenure here, I would say thanks so incredibly much for the loyalty that it will extend into the future.
That's great.
Prophetic podcast.
There you go.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you guys in 2022.